Mia sat at her small kitchen table, staring blankly at her laptop screen. The soft hum of the city outside her window was a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside her mind. She had poured her heart and soul into her latest project, a presentation for a major design competition that could launch her career as a successful interior designer. But now, after 6 long months of sleepless nights and endless revisions, everything was gone. "Just breathe," she whispered to herself, clicking refresh for what felt like the 100th time. But the screen remained unchanged, a cruel reminder of her husband David's careless actions. He had deleted her files, claiming it was an accident, but Mia knew better. The timing couldn't have been worse. The competition was tomorrow, and she felt as if her dreams were slipping through her fingers. "Mia, dinner's ready." David's voice echoed from the living room, laced with that familiar tone of false sweetness he used when family visited. She could already picture him, sitting at the table with that smug smile, probably congratulating himself on whatever he had done to her laptop. "Coming," she called back, quickly wiping away the tears that threatened to spill. She wouldn't give him the satisfaction of seeing her cry, not tonight. As she walked to the dining room, she steeled herself for the evening ahead, knowing that she would have to play the role of the dutiful wife, even as her heart ached with frustration and disappointment. The dining room was exactly as Mia had imagined. David at the head of the table, his parents seated across from him, and her own mother, Linda, fawning over David's latest promotion. Mia's sister, Sophie, sat at the far end, her eyes glued to her phone, probably counting the minutes until she could escape. "Mia, dear," Linda began, her voice dripping with concern, "David tells me you're still pursuing that little design project of yours." Mia forced a smile, her heart racing. "Actually, yes. I've a presentation tomorrow for a design competition. It's a huge opportunity for me." "Oh, sweetheart," David interjected, reaching for her hand across the table. Mia instinctively pulled back, feeling a wave of anger wash over her. "We've talked about this. Interior design isn't a real job. It's just a hobby, right? You know, something to keep you busy while I take care of everything." Mia's heart sank. "I have a degree in design, David. I've worked hard for this. It's not just a hobby." David chuckled, a sound that cut through the air like a knife. "But you're so good at organizing the house and making it look nice. Why risk everything on a competition? You have a beautiful home here. Why not just enjoy it?" Mia felt the heat rise in her cheeks. "Because it's not just about the house, David. I've spent months developing this proposal. I have potential investors interested in my work." David's laughter echoed again, this time more mocking. "Investors? You mean the ones who are just using you to get to my contacts in the business world? You really think you can compete with professionals?" The silence that followed was deafening. Sophie's fork clattered against her plate, and Linda looked down at her lap, avoiding eye contact. Mia felt a wave of humiliation wash over her. "I need to check something upstairs," she managed to say, pushing back from the table. The chair scraped against the hardwood floor, the sound harsh in the quiet room. "Don't forget to clean up after dinner," David called after her, his voice cheerful as if he hadn't just crushed her dreams in front of her family. Back in her home office, Mia slumped into her chair, staring at the blank screen of her laptop. That's when she noticed something odd, a small notification in the corner. Someone had accessed her computer remotely earlier that day while she was out grocery shopping. Her phone buzzed with a text from Liam, her old friend and a successful entrepreneur. "Hope you're ready for tomorrow. Can't wait to see their faces when you show them what you've got." A small smile crept across Mia's face as she remembered the backup copy of her presentation safely stored in Liam's cloud drive. David might think he'd won, but he had forgotten one crucial detail about her. She always had a plan B. The sound of dishes clinking downstairs reminded her that the night wasn't over. She had to go back down there and pretend everything was fine, play the role of the dutiful wife one last time. But tomorrow would be different. As she touched the drawer handle, feeling the weight of the certified letter from the bank approving her secret business loan, she whispered to herself, "You're right about one thing, dear husband. I'll never be just a housewife again." Her phone buzzed once more, this time a message from Liam. "Everything set for tomorrow. Need me to pick you up?" Mia typed back quickly, "Yes, it's time." The sounds of her family's voices drifted up from below, their laughter mixing with David's confident tone. They had no idea what was coming. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served in a boardroom with a PowerPoint presentation and an ironclad business plan. She straightened her shoulders and headed back downstairs, ready to wash the dishes and maintain the performance for now. The next morning, Mia woke up before dawn, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and anxiety. She carefully applied her makeup, determined to hide the dark circles under her eyes from the sleepless night. Today was the day she would finally take control of her life. As she slipped into the crisp black power suit that Liam had arranged for her, she felt a surge of confidence. The fabric hugged her curves perfectly, and for the first time in a long while, she felt powerful. She glanced at her reflection in the mirror, reminding herself that she was not just a housewife. She was a woman with dreams and ambitions. At 6 a.m., Mia slipped into Liam's car, careful not to wake David, who was still asleep in their bedroom. Liam took one look at her face and his smile faded. "Oh God, you've been crying," he said, concern etched on his features. "Haven't slept," Mia admitted, clutching her emergency makeup bag. "Every time I closed my eyes, I kept seeing David's smug face when he asked if I had backed up those important files last night." Liam pulled into the nearest Starbucks drive-thru. "Okay, first we need caffeine. Then we're going to talk about how we're going to make your husband eat his words." 20 minutes later, they sat in the parked car outside Liam's office building, steam rising from their coffee cups. Mia recounted everything: the deleted presentation, the humiliating family dinner, and the hidden loan approval. "What a complete jerk," Liam muttered, shaking his head. "But you know what? This is perfect." "Perfect? How is any of this perfect?" Mia asked, bewildered. "Because now you get to prove him wrong in the most spectacular way possible," he said, grabbing her shoulder. "Think about it. He believes he's destroyed your only copy. He's probably sleeping like a baby right now, thinking he's won. But you've got me, and most importantly, you've got that backup presentation." Mia's phone lit up with a text from Liam. "I'm in the office early. Come up whenever you're ready." As they walked into Liam's office, Mia felt a wave of determination wash over her. The space was modern and minimalist, just like she had always envisioned for her own design firm. Liam was already pulling up her presentation on his large monitor. "Ladies," he greeted them with a smile, "let's review one last time. The investors will be here in 2 hours." They went through every slide, every number, and every potential question. Liam played devil's advocate, throwing the hardest questions he could think of at her, while Mia took notes, occasionally suggesting tweaks to her delivery. "Remember," Liam said as they wrapped up, "these people aren't just investing in your business idea. They're investing in you." Mia felt a rush of adrenaline. She was ready. As they walked toward the conference room, she suddenly remembered something. "Wait," she said, pulling out her phone. She typed a quick reply to David. "You're right. This is exactly the sign I needed." Liam raised an eyebrow. "What was that about?" "Just agreeing with my husband for the last time," Mia said, a smile creeping across her face. With her heart pounding, she opened the conference room door, ready to show everyone what a housewife could really do. As Mia stepped into the conference room, she felt a wave of confidence wash over her. The room was filled with serious-looking investors, their eyes trained on her as she walked in. She took a deep breath, reminding herself of all the hard work she had put into this moment. "Good morning," she began, her voice steady and clear. "My name is Mia, and I'm here to present my vision for a new approach to interior design that not only transforms spaces, but also enhances the lives of those who inhabit them." The lead investor, a sharp-looking woman named Jessica, leaned forward, her interest piqued. "We've heard interesting things about your proposal, Mia. Please, Go ahead. Mia clicked to her first slide, showcasing her innovative design concepts. She spoke passionately about her ideas, detailing how her approach would cater to modern families looking for functionality without sacrificing style. As she moved through her presentation, she could see the investors nodding, their expressions shifting from skepticism to interest. Now let me introduce you to our first client, Mia said, clicking to the next slide. The screen displayed a photo of a cozy, beautifully designed living room. This is the home of Maria, a single mother who was struggling to create a functional space for her children, while also expressing her personal style. With our help, we transformed her home into a sanctuary that reflects her personality and meets her family's needs. Mia could see David in the back of the room, his face darkening as he recognized Maria's home. She felt a surge of satisfaction. This was her moment, and she was determined to make the most of it. As she continued, the questions came rapid fire. "What sets your design approach apart from others?" one investor asked. Mia smiled, ready for this. "Our focus is on collaboration with our clients. We believe that every space should tell a story, and we work closely with our clients to ensure their vision is realized. We also incorporate sustainable materials and practices, which is increasingly important in today's market." The investors leaned in, clearly impressed. Mia could feel the energy in the room shifting in her favor. She was no longer just a housewife. She was a businesswoman with a vision. As she wrapped up her presentation, she clicked to her final slide, revealing a contract. "I'm excited to announce that we've just acquired our biggest competitor in the small business sector. As of today, we are the leading provider of alternative design solutions in 3 states." The room erupted in murmurs, and Mia felt a rush of adrenaline. She had done it. She had not only captured their attention but also secured their interest. Jessica stood up, a smile on her face. "Mia, this is impressive. We'd love to discuss potential investment opportunities further." Mia's heart soared. "Thank you. I'm looking forward to it." As the meeting concluded, investors crowded around her, eager to exchange business cards and shake hands. Mia caught glimpses of David trying to push through the crowd, but every time he got close, someone else stepped in with questions or congratulations. "Way to go, Mia," Liam said, beaming with pride as he joined her. "You absolutely nailed it." "Thanks, Liam. I couldn't have done it without you," she replied, feeling a sense of gratitude wash over her. Just then, she spotted her mother and sister entering the room. Linda looked shell-shocked, while Sophie beamed with pride. "That was incredible, Mia," Sophie exclaimed, rushing over to hug her. "I had no idea you were capable of this." Mia smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her. "Neither did I until now." As the crowd began to disperse, David finally broke through, his face flushed with anger. "Using my client against me?" he hissed, his voice low and dangerous. Mia stood her ground, her heart racing but her resolve firm. "Maria was my client too, David. You didn't care about her needs, you only saw her as a number." David's expression darkened further. "This isn't over, Mia. You think you can just walk away from our life together?" Mia took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "I'm not walking away. I'm stepping into my future. I've realized that I deserve more than just being your wife. I deserve to be my own person." With that, she turned to the investors who were still buzzing with excitement. "Thank you all for your time. I look forward to working with you." As she walked away from David, she felt a sense of liberation. She had taken the first step toward reclaiming her life, and there was no turning back now. The evening air was cool as Mia drove home, her heart still racing from the adrenaline of the day. She had done it. She had stood up for herself and proven her worth. But as she pulled into the driveway of the house she had shared with David, a wave of uncertainty washed over her. The house was dark, save for the soft glow from David's home office. She found him there, nursing a whiskey, his laptop open to her company's newly registered website. The sight of it sent a jolt of satisfaction through her. "How did you do it?" he asked quietly, not looking up. His voice was laced with a mix of anger and disbelief. "Do what, dear?" Mia replied, setting her briefcase down deliberately. The presentation you deleted. Securing funding for your little business? His tone dripped with sarcasm. Mia smiled sweetly, feeling a sense of empowerment. You checked my laptop, didn't you? But you forgot about the cloud drive Liam set up for me last month, the one you called unnecessary. David stood up abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. Liam? That manipulative bastard has been trying to get his hands on my contacts for months. Is that really what you think this is about? Mia asked, crossing her arms. This isn't about Liam or your contacts. This is about me finally taking control of my life. She pulled an envelope from her briefcase and tossed it onto his desk. Maybe you should worry less about Liam and more about this. David's expression shifted from anger to confusion as he picked up the envelope. What is it? The beginning, Mia said simply. Open it. As he unfolded the document, his face went from angry to pale in seconds. You're selling the house? I already sold it, actually. We close next week. You can't do this, he sputtered, his voice rising. This is our home. Mia took a step closer, her heart pounding. You need my permission? Check the deed, David. Remember when you insisted I put it in my name only? Something about protecting your assets in case of a lawsuit? She smiled, feeling a sense of triumph. Funny how things work out, isn't it? David crumpled the paper in his fist, his face a mask of disbelief. This is because I deleted your little presentation? No, Mia said, her voice sharp enough to make him flinch. You were trying to control me like you've controlled everything else in my life. Our finances, my friendships, what I wear, what I eat. I've given you everything. His anger flared. This house, your comfortable life. What more do you want? Mia's phone buzzed with a text from Liam. Contracts are signed and filed. You're officially a CEO, boss lady. What I want, Mia said, her voice steady, is my own company, my own money, my own life. David laughed, but it was an ugly sound. A company? You'll run it into the ground within months. Then what? You think Liam will still want you around when you're broke and desperate? Mia moved closer, watching as he backed up against his desk. You know what's interesting? The investors didn't just love my idea, they loved my experience. Apparently, managing household finances for a controlling husband teaches you a lot about budgeting and dealing with tantrums. Great practice for difficult client negotiations, she added, feeling empowered. You're making a mistake, he warned, but his voice lacked its usual edge. Without you, Mia replied, I just secured $3 million in funding. Without you, I have a team of 20 people starting next week. Without you, David, I'm finally becoming who I was always meant to be. As she turned to leave, he grabbed her arm. You're my wife. Mia jerked away, her heart racing. Not for long. Check the second page in that envelope. The divorce papers fell to the floor, and David's hands shook as he smoothed out the crumpled paper. You'll never survive on your own, he said, but his voice had lost its edge. I don't need anyone who thinks they need to break me to keep me where I am, Mia replied, picking up her briefcase. I have a company to run. As she walked to her car, she heard something crack in his office. Probably that whiskey glass meeting the wall. But for the first time in years, his anger didn't frighten her. It felt like freedom. Mia's phone lit up with a message from Sophie. Mom told me what happened with the presentation, but I just saw your company announcement online. Holy sis, you actually did it. Mia smiled as she typed back, Actually, I'm just getting started. The night air was cool against her skin as she drove toward her new office building. Tomorrow she would face the fallout of dismantling her marriage and rebuilding her life. But tonight belonged to victory.